Z.
Z.
Y.
Y.
W.
W.
O.
O.
M.
M.
B.
B.
Podcast.
Podcast.
I'm Shan.
I'm Anya.
Say Ari.
Abby.
Welcome to Cozy Womb Podcast. Let's go. Hey, this is Shan, mom of the girls. Thank you for checking in. If this is your first time at Cozy Womb Podcast, welcome. It's a very random but frequently posted show. Enjoy what you can when you can. It's for new parents. Y'all are very welcome. It's for second, third, or more time around parents too. And I did not forget those of you who aren't quite there yet, haven't had your first kid, but you're thinking about it and you're just curious on what it takes to go ahead and survive the kids that you may make. Cool. Since we're all here, let's get into today's episode. Should you epidural or should you suffer through the pain? I think it depends on you as a woman, what you can handle as far as the pain goes. I think ladies who have already experienced labor, would you, if you could go back, get the epidural sooner, or would you try to not have the epidural if you had to do it again? Personally speaking, I don't have a high tolerance of pain. Yes, I have 4 tattoos, but when it comes to pain in my pelvic area, when it's my cycle, the first day, I'm taking drugs. I'm taking pain pills so I don't have to feel the cramping, so I don't have to be irritated, so those pains don't sneak up on me. I don't want to feel nothing. So when it came to labor is like 20 times your worst cramps as a woman. And for men, how I can explain it to you, contractions feel like you getting hit with a hard, heavy object every, I want to say 15 to 10 seconds. It just keeps coming and going, coming and going, coming and going. It's the worst pain I have ever felt. I'm lying. A toothache with a nerve issue is damn near the same. But that labor pain, listen, is hard. So if you haven't experienced labor, you're probably asking, what is an epidural? An epidural is basically a pain med that is given with a big needle between the little, I think that's what called your vertebrae, and the lower section of your back. It goes between there. You cannot move, and it's given between that spot, and your spine becomes numb and blocks out everything below your waist. So that pain, it kind of goes away when you can push the button to have the drugs go in your body. The con of it is because you're not feeling pain when you've dilated close to where the baby needs to come out. The force and the effort that you need to go ahead and push, you're not going to feel anything below. So what the doctor tries to do is stop the epidural medicine from going into your body so you can get the feeling back below your waist. So the pushing becomes harder. So that what they end up doing is putting your feet on the sides and pushing it back towards your head to try to get you to push the baby when the baby gets closer to the centimeters of dilation that needs to happen in order for that baby to come out. But it does take away that pain. And when I tell you, when you go from feeling major pain to not feeling pain at all, it's a calmer experience. You're more relaxed. It's less yelling, less screaming, less irritation. It's more of a calm, and I appreciated the epidural every time. My second child, they really made me wait a long time in order for me to get that pain med, which I hated. That's why I always like men doctors and men nurses over women, because they just don't listen. They just don't get it. I don't know if because they think they are women, so they know exactly what you're going through. But the thing is, you don't know exactly what any and every woman is going through when it comes to labor, because it's different for everybody. So why do women take the epidural? Basically to ease the pain of contractions during labor. Some people could take it, some people can't. Some people can have a doula, some people can't. Some people could do it in their cars on the way to the hospital. Some people could do it at home. Some people can read a book while they're doing it. My mom was reading a book while she was in labor with me, but she doesn't count because she had 4 other boys before me. So, of course, her 5th kid is going to be really easy. I expect it to. Their heads are huge. Why is getting an epidural bad? Because the possibility of nerve damage is higher if you move while they're giving you that medicine through that needle in your back. You really don't see the needle. I remember someone describing the needle to me before I got the epidural. When you're feeling that pain, you don't care what it looks like. You don't care how big it is. You just care how fast you can get it. I hated waiting for that anesthesiologist. I hated waiting for the doctor that was giving the epidural to every person that was in labor in the hospital at that time. That's the longest wait. That must be the epitome to you waiting for your sentencing for life on death row. Because my G, it seemed like he was dragging his feet through them hallways. He couldn't get there fast enough. The epidural can possibly give you nerve damage. If it hits a nerve, maybe temporarily or permanently, you can lose the feeling in your lower body. It's very rare, but it can happen. So usually when they're giving you the epidural, they ask if whoever's in the room, if they're not related, if you're not there by marriage, you need to leave. Every state is different. Sometimes they'll let people stay in there. Georgia, they did not want my mom in the room. They did not want Ari's dad in the room, and they did not want my kid in the room. Only the nurses can be in there, and they usually have they will have one person giving the epidural, 2 nurses side by side for witnesses of what happened. If you're married, some states will let the person that you want in there stay in there, and they can watch and see what happens, because if something goes wrong and they move that needle, it could be a lawsuit for them in that hospital. But both of the times I had an epidural, both of them went great. Both of my kids came out very healthy. Another risk of the epidural could be an epidural hematoma, which is basically blood accumulating between the inner part of the membrane near your bone, and basically it's a hemorrhage. Another issue that can happen with the epidural is an epidural abscess, which is basically a bunch of nasty pus and germs between the outer covering of the spinal cord and the bones, and basically a swelling may occur because of it. The next con about the epidural is it feels so good that it'll let your labor go on a bit longer because it feels so good and you just don't want to do anything but relax. So be careful when you get the epidural. Now, side effects of the epidural after you get it could be blood clotting. Your blood pressure may drop. Issues peeing, having headaches, or having an infection. So why they let women stay in the hospital 2 days after they give birth or 3 days after they give birth is to see how their body reacts and calms down after the labor and the medicine is issued. Stop! There's more!
Stop! There's
More! My personal experience with the epidural after I had labor was I was home and my right leg from my knee and down got really big, like it swelled up, and it was basically fluid building up which is a side effect from the epidural. So I had to go to the hospital on the 4th day after I was home, and they had to check it and make sure it wasn't a blood clot in my leg, but it was cool. But that's a possibility, and if I had to do it again, I'm definitely getting the epidural. I definitely did get Pitocin. Like, some people say, oh, this and this and this and this. Cool. That worked for me. And the thing is, you have to do what works for you as a mom and as a woman when you're on that bed trying to deliver that baby. Now, if you're on the other spectrum where you're not having an epidural, you're going to feel contractions that hurt so bad that you cannot stand or walk. I went into the hospital both times, able to walk by myself, calm, relaxed, wasn't feeling anything. I don't know what it is like to feel your water break. I don't know what it is like to be home minding your whole business and you get contractions. I don't know what that feels like, because my kids were just comfy, laying back in their recliners in my stomach, chilling. You're going to have a lot of screaming and crying. If the breathing methods did not work in your birth classes, then hey, that's what you're going to hear. I remember going in the hospital with my first child and hearing a lady down the hall sound like she was a dinosaur in Jurassic Park. And I was like, oh, she must be hurting. And I did not know why she sounded like that, but I did figure it out once some contractions hit. Them things hurt. What labor feels like is basically a huge, painful, constipated poo. If you've ever been constipated and you want to poo and it is not moving, it is not doing anything, that's what that feels like. The biggest one you can ever have in your life. Or if you're a woman, it feels like your worst set of cramps. Like cramps that will really make you have discussions with the Lord talking about, why didn't you make me a man? Like, you didn't even have to do this to me. There's no possibility that you love me, making me a woman so I could feel what this feels like right now. It makes you have conversations like that. Like, it hurts. Or you can possibly tear. Basically, when the baby's coming out and your vaginal opening is not big enough, the doctor may cut you so the baby could come through if it's not big enough, or you may tear from like your vaginal area to your butthole. That's a possibility. I got stitches with my first child. I did not have to get stitches with my second child. And it sucks when you get stitches down there, because afterwards, when you're trying to heal, it feels like everything is broken. At the end of the day, you're the mom, you're the woman, it's your experience. Do not make society make you feel guilty for getting meds to get through your labor. Do not make society make you feel stupid for having your labor without drugs, or having your labor at home, or having your labor in a bath, or delivering your baby with your husband or that child's father or your whole family or who you want in the room. Have the experience you want to experience. Have the people in the room while you're having birth that matter. Have the people in the room that give you good vibes and make you feel great, because that's what you need to get through. And if you want a different experience next time, have another baby. But don't be afraid to voice your opinion on what you're feeling, what you want, and what you need when you're the one doing the labor. My name is Shan. That is my advice. Those are my 2 cents. Ta-ta! Bye!
Bye!
Thank you for still listening. Got any advice or just want to ask anything? You can reach me on IG at Cozy Womb Mama, or at whoisshan.com, or you can email me at cozywombbmama@gmail.com. Thanks!